Hello everyone, welcome back. It's late September and today's video is about coriander seeds and harvesting them from your garden. You may not realize, but cilantro and coriander are the same plant. And so these are the seeds on a cilantro plant. We have a whole row of cilantro that's gone to seed here. Those aren't ready to pick yet, but that's what they look like before they dry out. And really the dried seeds of the cilantro plant are coriander. You can still use the leaves and part of the plant. There's really not much leaf to it anymore. There's just tiny little pieces like this. You can still use that as well. But I always just plant more cilantro so we have kind of a succession planting going. Well, let's go over to some of the cilantro that's more dried out and further along, and I'll show you the coriander seeds that grow on the plant. So over here, these dried out a little faster. And as you can see, when they're brown and dry, they're ready to harvest. And so those are coriander seeds. And so your cilantro plant is really cool because it's going to give you the leaves all summer, and then early fall. Cilantro likes cooler weather, prefers cooler weather to really grow. But these seeds, when the plant's done in its sort of leaf form and kind of gets all stringy and gets seeds, then they become a useful spice. So coriander, if you've never had it, it's a very vibrant spice. It tastes, not surprisingly, a lot like cilantro since it comes from the same plant, but it has a very sort of lemony, bright kind of flavor. It's used in a lot of curries. You can use it on potatoes, like we like to roast cauliflower, put a little bit of coriander and some curry powder as a really nice combination with some olive oil and some red onions from your garden. That's a really nice spicy roasted vegetable that you can have. It's fantastic, really good for you. But coriander is a fun spice, and it can be a little bit expensive. Now you can get it in some markets cheap, but you don't know if it's been sitting around for a year or two, because it will last for a long time. But when it's fresh, like anything else, you know, it's just so much better. Very bright, very fun spice to cook with. And, you know, like I said, a byproduct of cilantro. If you're going to grow cilantro, you're going to end up with coriander when it goes to seed. What's really cool about this, too, is it will reseed itself. So if you have an area where you want cilantro to grow, it will die back, of course, in the winter, but the next year it'll pop up all over the place like nobody's business. So that's no issue for us because we like cilantro, but we also sort of like to keep it under control and keep it in a nice row, whereas if you let it reseed itself, it'll go all over the place. And so we kind of just grow it in between our tomatoes, and that kind of keeps it in the shade until the tomatoes are gone. It works out pretty well. So here's the finished product. I just picked a couple spice jars worth. This is just some right here. Typically I'll just pick what I need and then let the rest go into the garden for the next year, and that works out really well. It just reseeds itself. So thank you for watching. I hope this was a good tip, something that you might be able to use, and definitely don't let your cilantro, when it goes to seed, don't let those seeds go to waste.